Alright folks, we've returned. Let's start Chapter 2 of Slash and Burn. Matthew, so far we do not have a wealth of information about the stabbing of Harriet Patrick, but I do feel we're onto something. In her short time at Concordia, the victim met quite a few people, and one of them killed her. Matthew, the victim's last name was Patrick, is that correct? A Miss Patrick is in trouble at the market. A Miss Patrick? This must be our victim's cousin. Matthew, we must go see what is happening. Your relative was a monster. What are you talking about, you harpy? My cousin was the salt of the earth. The salt of the earth? She was the devil in disguise. You're a mad woman. Get away from my stall. She was a murderer. Ladies, please settle down. I will not settle down. This woman's relative killed my family. Madam, the heat from the fire must have addled your mind. You must explain your accusations to Marshal Matthew. Capital idea, Matthew. If the victim's cousin has got a stall here, Harriet must have come to this market. Let us look for clues. A moment. Well, let's go ahead and do this. There we go. Ooh, sailor photo. Trash can. 4 seconds. Wow. You want to look at the trash can? Would you mind terribly if I observed your technique from a distance? The smell is unpleasant. And who is the gentleman on this photograph? He appears to be a sailor. Excellent observation, Matthew. There's a message to the victim. To Harriet P., the fairest of them all. Why didn't the gentleman sign the photo? That is vexing. But the Concordian Flying Squad does happen to have one of the most comprehensive listings of anyone who has come through customs. Shall we search for this gentleman's identity, Matthew? Moment again. Okay. There we are. Ooh, a switchblade. You found a switchblade in the trash can? Matthew, we know Harriet was stabbed. This could very well be the murder weapon. Rose, our weapons expert, will know if this switchblade was used in the murder. Her weapons knowledge is a bit frightening, to be honest. $12. The sailor photo. It's 1, 2, 3. Can I make it a sweep here? No. Aidan Moran. The sailor in the photograph is a certain Aidan Moran. We must speak with him about his fondness for the victim right away. about his gift to the victim. Mr. Moran, Marshall Matthew found a photo of you. It appears it was a gift to Harriet Patrick. Oh, Harriet, so beautiful, fresh as a daisy. Not anymore. Harriet was murdered this morning. Murdered? No! Who could destroy such a sweet creature? That's what we're trying to find out. How well did you know Miss Patrick? I met her on the boat coming to America. I let her borrow my wellies when the seas got rough. It was love at first sight for me, I can tell you. I played romantic tunes for her on my fiddle. I just had to give her this photo to remember me by, but I never did see her again. Well, Mr. Moran, don't heed the call of the open sea just yet. For now, you're docked until we eliminate you as a suspect in her murder. And let's talk to Rivki Gelber. Mrs. Gelber, you accused the late Harriet Patrick of killing someone? Yes, my Itzik, my Esther, all burned to ashes. Please try to calm yourself, Mrs. Gelber. We don't understand who or what Itzik and Esther are. They were my family. This doll is all I have left of them. My husband and little baby girl gone, lost to the flames. And it's all Harriet's fault, all of it. Matthew, this poor woman is clearly overcome with grief. We won't get anything out of her while she's still in shock. I'll let the Switchblade run its course. I'll see you all then. Alright folks, we've returned. Let's get the results of the Switchblade. Matthew, nice to see you, and I have good news to share. The Switchblade you found in the market's trash can was indeed the murder weapon. The shape of the blade perfectly matches the many wounds on Harriet's body. Therefore, I asked Viola to examine the blood, and she discovered stout ale and beef juice mixed in with it. Stout ale and beef? You're telling us the killer ate some beef and stout pie before murdering Harriet? How dreadful. This case becomes more and more odious. It's imperative that we uncover new evidence. You are quite right, Matthew. We know that two of our suspects reside in the same house, which means that it warrants another inspection. Make haste.
He's the sweetest, most charming man I've ever met.
She's met lots of men. On the Way Pastor, Wednesdays at 10:30. Catch up anytime, anywhere. TV Land everywhere. If you're on Medicare, you may want a lot from your healthcare coverage. Here's an easy way to get more all in one plan. The Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare.
I think I see at least one clue.
Parts A and B, your hospital and doctor coverage. Then can add Part D prescription drug coverage and
Torn paper.
all together in one plan for a low or even no monthly plan premium. Medicare open enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th. So
Fancy box.
see how this plan can give you more. With the United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan, you'll get an annual physical, preventive screenings, and most
I'm glad to see that this thing is working again.
A broad local network of doctors to
There we
choose
go.
from, and worldwide emergency care. On top of that, many plans also include routine vision and hearing coverage and a fitness membership to help you
Bagged
stay
me the first star.
So call
Matthew, do you really think there's something suspicious about this lovely wooden box? It's true that such a complicated lock seems to indicate that this holds something of value.
whether it's your copay,
Perhaps you can unlock the box and see what is hidden inside.
90-day supply.
And one can never know what clues torn paper may hold until it is pieced back together.
In fact, Medicare Advantage Plan members saved an average of over $4,500 last year. Remember, the time to enroll ends soon. So if you're on Medicare, call United Healthcare today. We're here to help. We'll answer your questions, even help you enroll in one simple call. And only United Healthcare has the Renew program, which helps you learn about living healthier and lets you earn rewards too.
Oh, there we go.
Compared to original Medicare, now you can get more for a low or even no monthly plan premium. A United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan. Call now.
There we go. Jimmy Muggsy Collins. My, this is a wanted poster. What the devil was it doing in Oscar Trefusis' home? Now that you mention it, the chap in the picture does look rather familiar. Remove the mustache and turn his hair blonde. Why, that's Colin James. Matthew, it appears we must ask Colin James a bit more about his past. About his criminal past? Mr. James, Marshall Matthew discovered a wanted poster featuring the image of a man named Jimmy Muggsy Collins. And here I was, hoping to avoid dredging up my past. I was a thief, you see, mostly armed muggings. I was a monster. Miss Patrick had found the poster and returned to confront me about it. And did the exchange become violent? No, I told her that I had seen the light, that Father Donovan helped me mend my ways. I changed myself completely, both inside and out, for a fresh start. Trefusis took me in from the kindness of his dear old heart. Kindness from the heart of Trefusis? You expect us to believe in such a thing? You don't know him like I do. He's a very generous man. He gave me all new clothes and Wellington boots. He even gave me a fiddle so I could play him tunes, as long as they aren't Irish songs. As long as he didn't give you a switchblade, don't go stealing away anywhere, Mr. James. We may have more questions for you.
Sweetheart, I'm so excited. It's just that I've come to a major decision. And it's a decision that affects both of us. Close your eyes and give your head. Gentlemen.
There we go. In fact, I might have to cut this short here. Hold on. Well, turns out I was right. My word! The box you unlocked contains Harriet Patrick's identification papers. Why on earth would these papers be locked up in the home of Mr. Trefusis if the victim was not welcome here? I loathe the thought of speaking to that ogre Oscar again, Matthew, but we must solve this case. Mr. Trefusis, when we first spoke, you said that you turned Harriet Patrick away, but we found her identification papers in your home. I see. Well, I did eventually come to see an advantage to having a young woman around the house, so I did hire her. I figured an Irish woman with worth her salt ought to know how to make a decent beef and stout pie. Colin could never make one of an edible variety, though he thinks his efforts are among the most delicious. I decided to take a chance on Miss Patrick, but I refused to pay her until she had proven herself. I held her identity papers as a sort of bond on her service. You retained her means of identifying herself to authorities? Mr. Trefusis, I am shocked! It's as if you fancied yourself her owner. In a way, I was her owner. She was duty-bound to me. Wealth has brought you no honor, sir. Good day. I feel as though we're no closer to catching the person who stabbed Harriet Patrick. Colin James has a violent past of mugging people. How heartwarming that Trefusis would hire a felon, but not a young Irish woman. Well, I suppose Trefusis did take Harriet in, but he seems ready to treat her as a slave. But if Trefusis felt Harriet Patrick to be his property, what would he stand to gain by killing her? Matthew, the fire brigade has contacted the airship. They cannot seem to put the fire out. Your crime scene is going up in flames. What? Uh-oh.
We need to watch this room.
We're going to have to do something about that in Chapter 3. See y'all then.